it's Donna with Resale Tips and Tales, and today I'm going to share with you my accounting spreadsheet. So I have been selling on eBay, Poshmark, Etsy, Mercari, Amazon, many different platforms for a little bit over 7 years. It's hard to believe. And over that time frame, I've kind of learned how to track my sales, my inventory, my expenses, and I have grown this over the years. I have a spreadsheet that has been long awaited for by many of my viewers. I have finally figured out how to share that with you guys in a Google Doc, and today I'm going to share it with you guys for free. So what do I ask in return is for you just to like this video. If you haven't subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button if you like what you see, and always remember to hit the bell so you can see all my new videos when they come out. So what all is included in my spreadsheet? So the first thing I'm going to share with you guys, I have an inventory listing sheet that I use for anything that I purchase to keep track of listing inventory and what still needs to be listed. I also have a spreadsheet that tracks all of my sales, my fees, my profit margins. I also have a spreadsheet that will show you my expenses and how you can track yours. And then I have a last spreadsheet that I call my P&L, my profit and loss, that combines all of those spreadsheets into one so that you can see what your sales are month to month and for the whole year. So I'm going to walk you through a full tutorial today on how to use my Google Docs spreadsheet to help your business. So it is so important when you are selling online as a reseller that you take it seriously as a business if you're trying to be profitable. And this is a great way, especially if you're starting out or even experienced, for you to understand what your cash flow is, if you're actually making a profit in your business, what purchases you might want to buy again based on their profit margin, and so many other things. But most importantly, it helps you at tax time. So you kind of already have it tracked. I'm the type of person that tracks it all year long because who wants to sit down in January and figure all of these things out? Whereas you can just use this spreadsheet and you can track it all as you go along so you don't have to do that. All right, so I don't really like to dilly-dally. I just want to jump in and go ahead and share this with you guys. At the end, I will leave a link below in the description, and I will try to also link it in the comment section below so you can link directly to the Google Doc, but please feel free to ask any questions you have in the comment section below. All right, hang tight. Let's go ahead. I'm going to share my screen with you, and we're going to walk through the spreadsheet. Okay, so here is the spreadsheet that I want to share with you guys. It is titled Inventory, Sales, Profit, and Expense Spreadsheets. So these are all encompassing, and like I said, I have built on this over the years, so you can tweak these however you would like to. However, realize that this is a shareable Google Doc, so this is in view only for everyone. If I had made it editable, everybody would be able to see everything that you put on here, and everyone would be able to change it, which does not serve the purpose I'm trying to share here. I want everyone to have a blank slate as what I'm showing you here. So what you need to do to make it personal to you is you need to make a copy of this document. So to do that, you're going to go to the file, and then you're going to go down to make a copy. So this, we're going to go ahead and do it so I can show you the full thing. You're going to have a name here. You can name it whatever you would like to. You can decide where you want to share it to, and then you're going to just hit OK. And then it's going to open up your own document that you're going to be able to change however you want to. You can duplicate it for years to come, but just realize that I cannot make the actual document editable, or otherwise everyone that sees it will be able to edit it, which does not serve the purpose. So I just wanted to put that out there, a little disclaimer. So let's go back to the original spreadsheet. So this first page that you see here, this is my inventory to list page. So what that means is typically I print this page out and use it for a manual documentation of all of the inventory that comes into my house. So whether it be from a thrift store or wholesale or purchases somewhere else in an estate sale or yard sales, I always write out everything that I've purchased, the date that I purchased it, and then the price that I paid for it. And then if it's a shirt or a pair of pants or a skirt or dress, I have these types of measurements on here that make it a little bit easier for when it's time for me to actually list the item. I can just write the measurements down on my spreadsheet, and then I transfer it into my listing. So eventually I do type these into my other spreadsheet, which I will show you here in a second, but this is just a quick way to make sure that I inventory everything that comes into my house. I also have a little column here that you can check mark, or you can place your inventory letters. If you have a system of how you do your inventory, you could write that on here once the item is listed and stored away. So that's all that this spreadsheet is just a manual sheet that I print. All right, let's go ahead and dive into the actual income spreadsheet at the bottom here. All right, so this here I have spread out throughout different months. So you can see here listed January, February, March, all the way down to December. Now, some sellers I've seen do a different tab at the bottom for each month. I like to see it all in one sheet, but really just depends on how large your business is to what works best for you. If you wanted to do that, you could always delete out all of these extra months and then just add extra tabs along the bottom. All right, along the top here, besides the month, you'll also see that I have a column for the cost. This is what you paid for the item, how much it sold for, the selling fee. So here is a little bit different. The first row I have here is an eBay example. I use the same spreadsheet for everything that I sell. So it might be on eBay, Poshmark, Mercari. And as you know, all of these different platforms have different fees, unfortunately. So this spreadsheet here is set up for managed payments. So most sellers, especially if you have a store, are already set up on the managed payments. So the typical percentage for your selling fee on managed payments is 12.5%. So this column will automatically calculate 12.5% on the sold price. Now, this is just the item price. I have a separate column over here called shipping paid by customer. I like to see what the customer paid compared to what the cost for me to actually ship the item. So I do these separately. You don't have to do that. This is just what works for me because I like to compare the shipping paid to the shipping cost. So next to the seller fee, I also have a shipping fee. So eBay also charges that 12.5% on the shipping cost that's paid by the customer. Now, if the customer pays zero, then this would be zero. I will show you. It changes automatically. If they pay $5, it automatically adjusts for you. Then there's a column called transaction fee. So on eBay, there's an additional 30 cents. You manually have to type this in here. So you would have to do a negative 0.30 to record the transaction fee. Here, like I said, this is where you would record what the buyer paid, whether it's $0, $10, whatever they paid for shipping, you would record in this column. The next one is what you actually pay for the shipping. So here I just did $5. If it was $4, actually it would be a negative $4. And you can see how the things change. Then I have a column for profit. So this takes columns B all the way to H, and then it calculates your profit. I also like to write on here the purchase date, so I kind of see how long it takes for me to sell that item. And then I calculate the percentage of my profit margin, which I really love to see. I always try to keep above 50% for my profit margin. That way you know if your dollar is being spent well. I also have a letter inventory system, so I know that my item here is in tub J. So when I go to find my item, it's so much easier to find because I already have it recorded here. Any type of notes I also can leave here. All right, the next line you can see here, I did an example as a sold Poshmark item. So the cost for that item, I just put $2. I sold it for $20. And then Poshmark is a 20% selling fee. Now, if it's below a certain amount, I believe it is $12. They assess a $2.95 charge. So you would just manually have to write that in there. Otherwise, it does automatically calculate 20 cents. Also, their shipping fee is typically zero, but if you give a shipping discount to a special offer, or if you do offer to likers, then this you would have to manually write in what that shipping fee was. And then I leave zero for the transaction fee, zero for the shipping paid by customer, because it's really all in the sold price, and Poshmark collects that money. And then shipping costs, again, I just put zero in here as well, because that's all encompassed into the selling fee. And then that would give you what your profit is. Again, purchase date, what your profit margin is, and the location. I always note Poshmark along the side. All right, so you would continue to do that along here. At the bottom of this spreadsheet, oh, one thing I forgot to say. For your month, this also tallies what your profit is for the month. Now, this is including what you paid for the item. In a minute, I'm going to show you my profit and loss, which does not include the costs, because it depends on which way you are accounting for the cost of items. Typically, the cost of goods, you take into account what your ending inventory is from last year, what you purchased in the current year, and then what you have left at the end of the year for tax purposes. If you're not sure quite what I am talking about, I will leave a link up here for my video about tax preparations that explains it a little bit better. But typically when you're selling items, you can only account for the price of it when you sell the item, not when you purchased it. So it's a little more detailed for this video, but that's how I account for my inventory. At the bottom of my spreadsheet, this is where I list the items that I've purchased. So for example, here's inventory item number 1. So this is where I take my inventory to list that I manually wrote things on, and I transfer them onto the spreadsheet. So here I would just write what I paid for the item. I leave these columns blank because these formulas are already built in. So don't really mess with these until you actually sell the item. So I just transfer those down. And to do that, you would just highlight those items and drag the formula down. So as you add things, that's how you would do that. And then again, I put the purchase date here. I'm just putting the year and where I located that item after I listed it so I can find it easier when something sells. I also keep a running tally of what my inventory cost that I have on hand. So for this example, I have $10 of inventory on hand. To add an item, you would just click over here on the side. You would click that row and then you would right click. You would insert one above and then you would type in your next item, how much you paid for it. And then as I showed earlier, you would just highlight these items and drag your formulas down. Oop, a little bit too high. And then what year you purchased it in and where it's located. All right, so then you sold something. What would you do? So what I love about this is that your inventory is all listed here. So all you need to do is find the item. So you're going to do a search in your spreadsheet, and then you're going to type in what, for me, I'm using a MacBook, so it's the Command F button. I believe on a Windows, it is a Control F, and your screen should pop up. So I'm just going to put item 1. And when I hit enter, it's going to find anything that says item 1. Or if you sold a pair of jeans, you could type in jeans or Ralph Lauren or whatever the item is that you listed it as. All right, so then over here, you're going to click the row that it's on, and then you're going to right click it. We're going to cut that whole row. And then we are going to insert one above and paste it. All right, it's that simple and it automatically transfers everything up. So then let's say I sold this item for $15. It is going to automatically calculate that selling fee for me because the formula was already there. All right, let's see. How much would that person pay? Let's say $2 they paid. It automatically calculated my shipping fee. And then I automatically have the transaction fee, but if not, you can type it in. And let's say it costs me $3 to ship the item. Now the profit. So here you're going to have to do the drag of the formula. All right, so my profit was $12.49. And same with the profit margin. Just drag that down. It's going to tell me I have an 83% profit margin. So I should have prefaced this video. I hope that some of you have some Excel experience or numbers experience or whatever platform you're using. It's a little bit more complicated. It's not just straightforward. So you do have to know a little bit about formulas and how to function within Excel, but I'm more than happy to answer any questions below in the comments. So please let me know what questions you might have. So we'll keep on going here. So as you add, again, you're just going to right click, insert a row above, find your item that you want to add, cut, and paste. So there you go. So I'll show you one more example. It's sold for $18. Don't touch the selling fee or the shipping fee. You shouldn't have to touch the transaction fee. And then how much did the customer pay? Let's say 0. So my shipping fee is going to stay the same because they only paid $0. Shipping cost, let's say it was $5. So that automatically calculated into things. Then we're going to spread that down for profit and do the same thing for the percentage. All right, so that's really essentially it. And as you see here, the profit has automatically totaled everything above it. And then you would just continue on for the next month when you finished up your first month. All right, along the bottom, let's move over to the P&L 2021. So this is going to compose everything for your entire year. So this is very useful when you come to tax time because it has everything that you need all in one place. I love this section of the spreadsheets. All right, so over here you can see that I automatically have formulas set up for you guys that are going to calculate from your income 2021 spreadsheet over to your P&L. So here the $63 is automatically being pulled over from everything you sold. This is the column that it's pulling from. Same with your selling fees. So this $5.66 is automatically pulling over from all of these fees. They're calculating over. So same thing's going to go for the shipping fees. Your transaction fees are adding up, how much your customer has paid in shipping, how much you paid in shipping. So all of that is automatically connected to your other spreadsheet. So I would suggest not touching the formulas on this page unless you decide that you're really savvy and you want to add another column or something or take something out. Otherwise, I would leave this the way that it is. All right, so inventory and supplies. I have a separate sheet at the bottom called Expenses 2021. This is where you're going to write in your inventory costs for the year. You can also put in any type of supplies that you purchased. So if you have ink or paper or labels or shipping supplies, this is where you're going to write it all in. So let's say on January 15th at Walmart, I purchased bubble wrap and it cost me $20. Over here, it automatically tallies what your supplies are and your inventory. So over on your P&L, it automatically pulled over that $20 that I purchased. It also pulls over any inventory that you purchased. And then here is a column for your shop fees, which obviously will vary depending on what level of store you have. If you don't have a store, you could just put zeros in for the shop fee. This is a basic store fee, but you would just adjust that as needed. And then once you enter your amount, just going to show you 0 for now. You could just take this little corner and drag it down and it would adjust everything. Drag that back up. All right, here at the end of the month, you'll receive an invoice from eBay. If you have any extra listing fees or promotion fees, you could manually enter them here in these boxes. And then over here, it's going to calculate your profit for the month. Again, also your profit margin and the percentages. These formulas are already in there and they are calculating all of your columns. So I would suggest not touching these items. At the bottom of this column, it also shows you your totals for the year, which I love, your profit for the year, your profit margins for the year, and so on all the way across. So if you want to see the numbers and you're a numbers person, this is a perfect way to see how your year is going and how much you have spent and how much you have made. At the bottom here, this is a quick example of how you do cost of goods sold. I was talking about earlier. So at the end of 2020 inventory, you can write what your inventory was you had on hand, how much you purchased in 2021. You would do this at the end of the year. And then how much you have at the end of the year would go here in your total inventory. And then all of those together would end up being your cost of goods. I also like to track my shipping differences. So what that means is what my customer paid versus what I paid. I like to see what the difference is and what I paid out of pocket for shipping. I also have just a simple section down here for anything you donated, any items you decided not to sell that you wanted to donate. You can write the item here and then what the cost is that you paid for it so you can track those donations for the end of the year. For your expenses, I also have some total columns at the bottom if you'd like to see those as well. So that's really all that I have. These are the spreadsheets. I hope that you can find some use out of these. Again, I am more than welcome to answer any questions in the comment section below. I hope that this looks simple enough for you. Like I said, I've been using this for years and this is what works for me. So I thought that I would share it with you guys, but hopefully I was able to explain it in an understandable way that you guys can use this for your business as well. So hopefully you guys found that useful. Again, like I said in the beginning, please leave your questions below. I do want to emphasize again that you do need to copy the spreadsheet for your own purposes. I cannot make this original spreadsheet editable for everyone because then everyone would see your things and it would also alter the spreadsheet and all of the formulas, as I had stated before. I just want to re-emphasize that because I know that there's going to be a bunch of people that are going to ask me if they can edit this document. But what you have to do is make sure you save yourself a copy and then you can continue continue to save that year after year, and you can just tweak it for the different years. All right, that's all I've got for you guys today. Like I said, hopefully that you found some use out of this video. Please make sure you like the video, and always remember to subscribe and hit that bell so you can see all the videos when they come out. All right, guys, until next time, happy selling.